Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Global Cooling Rundown for July 1st to July 5th, 2017. New NASA report out, the solar minimum's coming. They're only talking about the 11-year cycle, and they left out a lot of facts, so let's fill it in for you here. They talk about the sunspot count with relatively high numbers for the solar cycle. Well, in reality, it's the lowest in the last 100 years. The forecast out for the next solar cycle as well brings us into a grand solar minimum, which is on its regular either 200 or 400 year cyclical pattern. They talk about galactic cosmic rays increasing. They say it only affects astronauts. Well, it's going to affect our Earth too. 19% increase, already happening across several areas of the planet. What that means is more atmospheric compression events, electrical weirdness across the skies and intensification. Things that are considered rare now are becoming commonplace. Massive floods will increase, and they even talk about the atmosphere compressing during this time. They also talk about geomagnetic storms and auroras, yet they didn't tell you we've had the most intense auroras ever observed, except for the Carrington event 140 years ago. These blue auroras turning to white are the strongest that there are. Both northern and southern hemisphere witnessed 3 times this year. And they also talk about the solar activity will change form. Now NASA, an internally combusted star, cannot change form. It's supposed to be combusting at a static rate. The electric universe would explain all of these changes in the grand solar minimum and the 11-year solar cycle. But what's this all mean for you and me? Well, we're not going to be able to grow crops as we do today because the seasons are going to be so unstable and the timing of planting is going to be affected as well as harvesting. Case in point, this late season blizzard that rolled across and destroyed at least 30% of the U.S. wheat crop. We've seen intense ice storms decimating vegetable crops across Europe. The freezes that have wreaked havoc on the fruit orchards globally and the wine vineyards. And it is only the beginning of the intensification. When the crops go, our economy crashes, and it's a reset button for us. I encourage you to do all of your own research. Absolutely stunning video. You need to watch this. Incredible close-up footage of a Boeing 787 leaving persistent contrails. I was jaw-dropped after watching this. This is one of the closest images you'll ever see of cosmic radiation management in play. The sky trails you're seeing, this is exactly what's happening. All those food price rises I was speaking about because the intensification of the grand solar minimum, they're beginning right now. Spring wheat, drought conditions, spike in price, preceded by that out-of-season blizzard which wiped out 35% of the winter wheat crop. This time it's drought conditions over the Dakotas and other spring wheat growing areas of the U.S. Also, lean hog futures are up, cattle prices are up, wheat prices are up, fruit prices are up, and almost everything you buy from this point forward is going to be up in price. Since it is July 2nd, I wanted to bring you a couple stories that I still had open on my browser about rare June snows. 4 Men on Unicycle is the only team to finish a grueling Yukon race that was delayed after a heavy blizzard. It's the first time in 25-year history that it was shut down by a freak June blizzard. Black ice, several inches of snow. And then the article continues about near freezing temperatures. The racers huddled in their tents. Some tents collapsed. People were hiding in their cars trying to wait out, but it never passed, so they just decided not to race. Some images here of the start line for you. So I know the Yukon is in Canada, but I pulled up the Alaskan Weather Service here, and on July 1st it is 56 degrees Fahrenheit. And I thought, no, it can't be that cold up there. It's July 1st. It should be at least into the 70s or low 80s by now. It does get warm up in Alaska. It's not cold all year round, especially in Anchorage of all places. So I went up to the National Weather Service again in the Alaska region. Sure enough, 56 degrees, 16 mile per hour winds, and the apparent temperature feels like 52 degrees. Another June race hampered by snow. This time in Colorado. This is where the trail is. They're trying to dig through 7-foot snowdrifts so the Leadville Trail Marathon could get started and actually have a route. And even though the daytime temperatures were reaching in the 60s or low 70s, there was still that much snow on the trail where the athletes were going to pass. They attribute it to a considerable amount of late season snow around Leadville. But as we progress into the grand solar minimum, these types of events, late season blizzards that are going to affect our crops, our agriculture, transportation, this is going to become normal, especially around 2019, 2020, which is just 2 years away. We're going to have a significantly different lifestyle than we have now, just based on food prices. Last week of June, first week of July, if you like your corn frosted, North Dakota is the place for you to be. Look at the damage on the stalks. And if you like your corn frozen solid, South Dakota is the place for you right now. And you know that old farmer saying, knee high by the 4th of July? They're talking about a horse, not a human, but look how tiny this corn is. And just generally across the entire United States, it seems to be this is the state of our agriculture. It doesn't matter if you're down in Arkansas where it's flooded or you're here where it's bone dry and freezing. Oh, did I mention Spain? Look at the amount of hail coming down. And this surely fits the fingerprint of a grand solar minimum intensifying.